for India, it will begin altogether a new journey.
A historic step was taken on the intervening night of June 30th and July 1st, 2017, in the Temple of Democracy, that is the Parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, then President Pranab Mukherjee, leaders of many parties in the Central Hall of Parliament witnessed history. And as the clock struck 12, GST, that is Goods and Services Tax, was announced by ringing the bell from the Central Hall. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his own style, called Goods and Service Tax as good and simple tax.
गुड इसलिए कि टैक्स पर टैक्स जो लगते थे उससे मुक्ति मिल रही है। सिंपल इसलिए है कि पूरे देश में एक ही फॉर्म होगा, एक ही व्यवस्था होगी।
This was one of the biggest economic reforms in independent India. Within a moment, dozens of taxes and old cesses were abolished, and a uniform tax system was implemented across the country. This in itself was a bold step, a decision that the previous governments could not muster courage to implement. One nation, one tax was conceptualized in the 90s, but it took decades for implementation. Dozens of state taxes and dozens of central taxes continued for years. Every government debated, but there was no implementation. Whereas in Europe, Singapore, America, one country, one tax system was implemented. In India, the reform hit roadblocks. On February 28, 2006, the then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram in his budget speech spoke about GST but said it would take time. GST was also mentioned in the budget speech of 2007. That time, the Empowered Committee gave green signal to implement the GST from 1st April 2010. But it could not be implemented due to the centre-state conflict. After this, it was implemented in the whole country within 3 years of Modi government coming to power.
आज की जो व्यवस्था थी, उस व्यवस्था में राज्यों में और केंद्र में मिलाकर 17 ट्रांजैक्शन टैक्स हैं, 1717, 23 सेस हैं। उन सब को समाप्त कर दिया गया है और उनके स्थान पर केवल एक टैक्स रहेगा। उस हर टैक्स के लिए अलग रिटर्न जाता था, आज एक रिटर्न जाएगा।
GST benefits the consumer state. The manufacturing state bears losses. Prime Minister's home state Gujarat, being a manufacturing hub, witnessed maximum protests against GST. But the tax regime was implemented for the development of the country. Today, the people in Gujarat have realized the benefits.
जीएसटी लागू होने के कारण भारत की डायमंड इंडस्ट्री को बहुत अच्छा बेनिफिट मिला है। आज की तारीख में मैं बोलूँ तो कोविड-19 की परिस्थिति के अंदर सबसे ज़्यादा एक्सपोर्ट जो कोई इंडस्ट्री का है वो है डायमंड इंडस्ट्री।
Goods and Services Tax has proved to be a milestone in India's economic scenario. It was the most transformative tax reform since independence. After some initial problems, the GST system is running on track. All decisions are taken by consensus in GST Council. Whatever changes are made every month, it involves approval of all states. It has emerged as a big model of federalism. The government is constantly trying to make it simpler.
प्रारंभ के 2 वर्ष राजस्व में काफ़ी वृद्धि हुई, लेकिन तीसरे साल जब इकोनॉमिक स्लोडाउन हुआ पूरी दुनिया के अंदर, तो उसका असर जीएसटी पर भी दिखाई पड़ा और बाद में फिर सुधार हो रहा था। तब तक ये कोरोना से प्रभावित हो गया, लेकिन अब फिर पिछले 8-9 महीनों से लगभग 1 लाख करोड़ का रेवेन्यू कलेक्शन हो रहा है।
GST led to reduction of tax burden on the common man. This led to a significant increase in transparency and tax collection. The consumer benefited from the end of the arbitrary tax system. Food items were kept in the lower tax slab, bringing relief to common man. Earlier, even the essential items were taxed like luxury items, which has now been fixed. Businessmen had to pay different taxes to state and the centre, which is no longer the case. This tax system accelerated the supply system. Earlier, the trucks were able to cover an average distance of 220 kilometers in a day, in which 1/5 of the total transportation time was spent on interstate border, Naka, checkposts. Now trucks are completing an average distance of 300 to 1.25. Lesser travel time has led to reduction in the prices of the goods. It has decreased from 10 to 12% as against 14%. GST collections amount to almost 1 lakh crore per month. From the data point of view, it is equal to half of the union budget. Ease of taxation on television, cameras and other household items, prices of household goods came down while inflation remained under control. Barring a few services, taxes on goods are lower than before. Restaurants and under construction properties benefited from the rate cuts. GSTN, that is GST network, is a sample of how the government modernized the system. According to the need, reforms in GST are being done continuously. With GST, the economic progress of the country is going on a rapid pace. It strengthened the economy, increased capacity, improved quality, and increased the productivity. All this was possible only due to the bold decision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Bureau Report, Republic TV.